Well, good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Beyond the Pulpit. I'm sitting here today with two of our church members, and they're going to tell a little bit about the job that they had in this church a few years ago. That's Patty Fletcher and Phyllis Nottingham. And you guys had what type of a job here a few years ago?
We both taught kindergarten in the back building starting in 74, 75, which was the first year of the county kindergartens. And the elementary schools were so overcrowded that the county rented space from the churches, and we had kindergarten back there.
Well, now, did we ever have an actually Bloomingdale Baptist kindergarten previous to this?
No.
No. So basically, our job, as far as the church, was just to furnish you a place to have it.
Right.
Yes.
And so Preacher Bird really had nothing to do with it?
No, he was just our part-time custodian. He and his daughter were our custodians, and he visited with us a lot and saw over things. He helped us.
Yeah, and so Mr. Rowland.
So Mr. Rowland from Kingsley School was our principal.
So he just would walk out and
Well,
check on you.
he
Did
would
he
drive
come
up.
quite often, or did he just kind of leave you alone?
He mostly left us alone, but
He's smart enough,
yeah,
wasn't
he didn't really understand kindergarten.
Yeah.
That
No, he
because we had children all up doing different things at different times, and he liked to see children sitting in their
he?
seats.
Now, I read in the notes that you give me that you had up to 25 in a class. Is that right, that time?
That's right. We had a total, we had 484 kindergarten children the years we were here, and we had one first grade that had 18 students.
18 students.
Yes.
Well, I'm telling you. So, I've kind of lost my train of thought. So you were in Greg Hall's classroom that is now, the
my
Greg Hall's
first-
classroom that we know that's there
Right,
now.
my first classroom was Greg Hall Sunday School.
And you
room.
had how many
I had
children in that class?
18 children in that class.
But we all switched around and took turns in that room because we called that the little room for
Yeah,
kindergarten.
I'm sure it would be the little room. Yeah.
And so when we had more than 18, we were somewhere else.
So you were here for the years of 74 through 80?
80.
80.
The year
That's
that
when North opened.
Yeah.
And you started teaching 2 years prior to
Right.
that.
I
And
taught
so
at
you came and
Kingsley,
done your
yeah.
teaching. And you started basically with the county system here at the school, at the church.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That really is. So where did you eat lunch?
Oh, that's the good part. We had to go to Kingsley for lunch, and
So you get
If
the
it
kids
was-
up, line them up.
if it was a pretty day, we would walk. If it was wintertime, bad weather, the county provided a school bus, and luckily my mother drove the school bus.
What I heard.
And
So
she
that's
would pick us
awesome.
up and take us to Kingsley. She also went to Vermont and Cedar Grove
And pick those up.
picked them up because they were housing kindergarten students too.
So did she just do that for the kindergartens, or she actually
She
drove
had
to
a
school
morning route and an evening route.
and evening
and-
route too? That's what I
But
thought. I
if it was
remember
a sunny
right.
day, she stayed home and we would walk. But,
Well, what would you find it? Let me ask you this: did you find it less stressful to be at the church than it did to be at the school?
Yes, I think it was less stressful.
yes.
Because you just were kind of more on your own and doing your own thing, and nobody was actually looking down on
That's
you.
right.
So did you enjoy your time here? Then?
Oh,
Yes.
it was wonderful.
You really enjoyed it.
And my assistant was Carolyn Reed, who was also a church member, and Patty had, who'd you have had?
I kind of find
Margaret
that kind of
Jesse,
ironic.
and at
so,
that time she was a church member, and her family attended here.
so basically, you had maybe a leg up if you was a church member here to get a job.
Yes.
Okay.
But luckily, Patty and I, it just happened that way. But,
Well.
I mean, you had to be a certified
Yeah,
kindergarten teacher.
yeah. I want you to make sure you
Yeah.
guys were fully certified. You went to college. You had all kinds of the courses that you needed, child psychology and all those things. I'm sure
I was a psychology major
you was a psychology major.
for my graduate degree.
So you're two of our retired teachers. So I'm going to ask your age. How long did you teach?
38 years.
38 years. And Patty, how long did you teach?
40.
40 years. And most of that, you all were in the same building together.
Right.
What
And
a
another good
blessing.
thing I wanted to say about the church is we got to use the auditorium for programs.
Which made it nice.
And made it nice. And we had a Christmas program, and my class did the Nativity story, and Preacher Bird read the Christmas story from the book of Luke. He was our narrator.
Yeah.
And people came in the church, they sat down, they were respectful, and it was just a really good time.
Well, but it did make it nice. I
It
mean, it
did.
made it nice to have it in in the same building. You can just come right down and have your facility. That's really good. It's really cool. So many people don't realize that the county kindergartens, when they started, of course, we didn't have the advantage of kindergarten when we were in school.
No.
So we were first grade and that was it, right? But the kids that come along later had that advantage of that extra teaching that they got and made them more prepared for what was coming in the first grade.
Yeah, Tennessee passed a law that the children had to go to kindergarten before first grade.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the county had to find a place.
So they had to find a place, and of course, finding one close to the school made a big difference.
yes.
So naturally, this would have been the closest building.
Well, I mean, we had the best situation of all because the back part of the church was not being used at that time for Sunday school, and we didn't have to pack up on weekends. I mean,
You used your classroom. Nobody went back there and bothered it. It was
nobody
your stuff.
bothered it. I mean,
Some churches had to have their kindergartens pack up every weekend so that those rooms would be available for Sunday school.
Which would make it pretty hard.
yes,
Which would make it pretty hard, because I know you teachers, you pack a lot of stuff.
we had a lot of stuff.
You
yeah.
pack a lot of stuff, especially in kindergarten, I'm sure. Well, what a blessing. Well, we just want to make sure that people of our church and the community knew that Bloomingdale Baptist has been here for 80 years, spreading the word, but also we were here for a few of those years teaching and giving the kids wisdom.
Right.
And that's what we want to know that. Well, thank you so much for your time, and thank you all for your service.
Thank you.
Welcome again, and come back again and see us soon. We'll be having some more Beyond the Pulpits here starting next week. So we'd love to have you. Don't forget our 80th anniversary coming this Sunday. Please come out and join us. It'll be a great time. Thank you.